In the unpredictable digital frontier of 2016 YouTube, two vigilantes emerged, not with manifestos or moral crusades, but with something far more dangerous: the ability to see through everyone's nonsense. iDubbbz and Ethan Klein weren't just content creators. They were armed with the ability to cut through online performance and spotlight inconsistencies. This is the untold story of how YouTube's most respected alliance crumbled into its most bitter philosophical divide. But here's the plot twist nobody saw coming. What happens when the algorithm's favorite watchdogs become the very thing they used to mock? Today, we're dissecting the most controversial transformation in YouTube history: how two kings of commentary became the perfect case study for everything wrong with internet fame. 2016, the year mainstream media still thought YouTuber meant uploading cat videos, while Ian Carter, iDubbbz, was already leading the charge against toxic content creators, using his platform to call out problematic behavior with sharp commentary and viral precision. Each content cop wasn't just a takedown, it was a forensic investigation with receipts. iDubbbz didn't just call out hypocrisy, he dissected it with surgical precision, complete with screenshots, timestamps, and vocabulary that will make your debate teacher weep with pride. Meanwhile, Ethan Klein was mastering the art of the perfect reaction face. That iconic cough wasn't just a quirk, it was the sound of someone genuinely shocked by internet nonsense. Back when being shocked still meant something. They were the internet's immune system, attacking anything that threatened the ecosystem's authenticity. The algorithm rewarded their vigilance, pushing their content to millions who craved accountability. Even PewDiePie acknowledged their influence during this era, calling them the heroes YouTube needed in a 2017 stream. And their fans? We ate it up because finally, someone was calling out the obvious fake behavior everyone else pretended not to see. But here's the uncomfortable truth: they were never actually that close. Their alliance was more fan fiction than reality. Two creators who occasionally nodded in each other's direction while building separate empires. May 2023, Ian drops I Miss the Old iDubbbz, 17 minutes of a man performing open heart surgery on his own career. Now, I've seen my share of YouTube apology videos. Most are damage control wrapped in crocodile tears, but this hits different. iDubbbz wasn't apologizing because he got caught or canceled. He was apologizing because he'd apparently discovered something called personal growth. He called his content cop on Tanamangal cruel. This wasn't your typical apology designed to game the algorithm. iDubbbz acknowledged his role in creating content that no longer reflects his values. No PR team, no crisis management, just a creator who looked genuinely uncomfortable with who he used to be. Meanwhile, Ethan Klein was speedrunning the opposite character arc. The guy who once created reaction content had become the platform's most vocal progressive commentator. Ethan Klein's transformation from reaction creator to political pundit wasn't gradual. It was aggressive, intentional, and impossible to ignore. And here's where it gets interesting. Both men claim they're being more authentic than ever. Ian by rejecting his past, Ethan Klein by amplifying his present convictions. The algorithm seemed confused by both approaches, struggling to categorize content that defied easy metrics. The result? Two fan bases forced to pick sides in a philosophical war neither creator officially declared. Now here's where our internet detectives started connecting dots that revealed the true nature of this feud. Ethan Klein began dropping not-so-subtle commentary about creators who conveniently discover morality when their old content stops being profitable. He never said iDubbbz, but bestie, the subtext was screaming so loud it broke the sound barrier. This wasn't just commentary. It was a creator questioning the sincerity of every apology video flooding the platform. This was passive-aggressive warfare at its finest. Meanwhile, iDubbbz started expressing frustration with the perpetual edgelord mentality in interviews and streams. Creators who mistake shock for substance, who criticize others for, wait for it, growing and changing. The algorithm loves controversy, but Ian seemed tired of feeding the machine that made him famous. The implications were devastating. This isn't your typical YouTube beef with diss tracks and reaction videos. This isn't a typical YouTube feud, it's a silent, ideological split, where every comment feels loaded with meaning. Both creators understand how the algorithm amplifies conflict, yet they're locked into a dance that threatens to consume them both. The most fascinating part, the first one to acknowledge the elephant in the room loses. So instead, we get this elaborate dance of implications, where every podcast episode and stream becomes potential evidence in the court of public opinion. The tension is suffocating. And their fans, we've become amateur detectives analyzing every pause, every word choice, every facial expression for hidden meaning. The silent war has consumed entire communities. And this is where things took a turn. Fan communities didn't just disagree, they became deeply polarized, using their favorite creators as symbols in an ongoing culture clash that even drew A-list celebrities. In iDubbbz corner, fans who treat his apology like it's the Magna Carta of personal growth. He's not apologizing to us, they argue. He's showing what real accountability looks like. Even John Boyega subtweeted support for creators choosing growth over clout, while Emma Stone liked multiple tweets about authentic apologies during the peak of Ian's redemption arc. Team Ethan fires back with their own moral framework: consistency over convenience. At least he's still authentic became their battle cry, even when being authentic isn't popular. The algorithm rewards engagement, and nothing drives engagement like ideological warfare between creator communities. Even major public figures like Elon Musk and Joe Rogan took notice, reacting to Ethan's increasingly political content. But take a closer look at these communities, and something surprising emerges. Fans aren't just supporting their favorite creators, they're turning them into symbols in larger cultural debates that neither Ian nor Ethan Klein ever directly chose to represent. The iDubbbz subreddit became a case study in redemption politics. The H3 subreddit turned into a masterclass in defending ideological consistency. Each apology video analysis became a referendum on moral growth versus authentic consistency. And both sides completely missed the irony. They're doing exactly what their favorite creators used to mock, turning parasocial relationships into identity politics. Step back, whole situation reveals something bigger than two creators having an unspoken philosophical disagreement. YouTube in 2016 was the Wild West. The platform once rewarded shock and chaos long before today's standards of accountability and advertiser safety existed. The algorithm fed on controversy without consequences. Fast forward to 2025, and the platform demands corporate responsibility from people who grew up thinking professional YouTuber was an oxymoron. Every creator who built their brand on edginess eventually faces the same impossible choice: evolve and be called fake, or stay consistent and be called problematic. The algorithm doesn't care about your moral journey. It cares about watch time and engagement. Look at the data. Apology videos have become their own format. Part sincere, part algorithm aware, reflecting the blurry line between vulnerability and visibility. Just ask PewDiePie, who mastered the art of addressing controversies while maintaining his core audience. His 2017 response became the template every creator studies when their past catches up with them. iDubbbz took a reflective approach, openly addressing his past and shifting his content to align with personal growth. Ethan leaned into evolution, expanding on his existing style with new layers and perspectives. Both moves reflect how today's algorithm rewards reinvention just as much as it demands it. And here's the kicker: there's no right answer. The platform changes its rules weekly, but the internet's memory spans decades. Every creator is one viral tweet away from having their worst moment become their defining legacy. So what's the verdict on this unspoken rivalry? Honestly, they're both right, and they're both wrong. And that's the most human thing about this entire situation. iDubbbz proved you can acknowledge your past mistakes without destroying your career. A masterclass in reputation rehabilitation. Ethan proved you can maintain ideological consistency without becoming a relic. But they also proved something else. When your brain is built around critique, eventually that lens turns inward, whether you're ready or not. The real question isn't who won this philosophical standoff. It's whether we, as an audience, are mature enough to let creators be human. Messy, contradictory, evolving humans, without turning their growth into content for our entertainment. Because at the end of the day, the most authentic thing about anyone isn't their perfect consistency or their dramatic transformation. It's their willingness to keep figuring it out in public, even when public means millions of strangers ready to screenshot your worst memories. Unless you're one of those rare cases where the brand survives anything. But that's a whole nother story. Unless you're one of those rare cases where the brand survives anything. But that's a whole nother story.